Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by MMA up-and-comer Joel Chapman. Joel, how are you?
Fine, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Joel, you're going to be making your pro debut this Saturday for TWC in Lansing, Michigan. How's training been going for the fight?
I'm pretty pumped. I mean, I've been training hard for a few months, and I mean, it's time to see if my training is going to be good enough. So, yeah, I'm really excited, you know?
Joel, I was at your last amateur fight back in May of 2011 when you fought Nathan Long. Why has it taken so long for you to be making your pro debut?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I had a lot of belt defenses, and I had a lot of really pressure type fights. Like the last year and a half of my career was just straight up defending belts. I mean, I had 5 belt defenses in a row, and I had some of the toughest guys out there coming after me. I mean, that gets really stressful after a while, and I wasn't hungry. I was just fighting just to defend belts, just to take a break. So I had a chance to take a break. I just took a break for about a year, you know?
Mm-hmm. So it was just by choice. It wasn't like you weren't getting the offers. It was just you felt that you needed to step back and regain that hunger.
I definitely need to step back and regain that hunger. I mean, that's the thing. I think if fighting isn't fun for you anymore, then you shouldn't do it. Or if you're not hungry, you shouldn't fight. And I wasn't hungry, and it wasn't fun, so I took some time off, and now I'm hungry, and hopefully it's fun again.
Where have you been training at, and who have you been training with in preparation for this fight?
I'll stay pretty close to home with this camp. I went to New Mexico, and I trained with some of Greg Jackson's camp. I went down there a few months ago, but actually I was going to train with them, but I decided to keep my camp at home. I've been training at the lab, and actually my cousin Daryl Thompson, he's another pro fighter. He's been kind of being my coach lately, and he's been kind of pushing me. And I've been training with Nick Beeman. He's probably the best boxer in the state. Well, he won Golden Gloves quite a few years ago, but he just turned pro as a boxer, and he's been helping me get ready for this fight because I'm fighting a boxer. So,
your opponent, Adam Alvarez, what are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
I don't know too much about him. I heard he's really wild. I heard his boxing is pretty decent, and his cardio is pretty good. I think that a boxer is pretty much tailor-made for me because I've had to box really good myself, and I'm a national champion in Taekwondo, so my kicking is good and my jiu-jitsu is good. I heard his ground game isn't that good, so, I mean, I just don't see him beat me, you know? I mean, the only way I see him beat me is with a lucky punch. Because, I mean, I think I can outstrike him, and if it goes to the ground, I think I'll be able to submit him.
Adam Alvarez is not your original opponent. When did you learn that you were going to be facing him this weekend?
Okay, well, my original opponent, it's a long story, was Travis Travesty. It's a lot of bad blood between me and him. We completely hate each other. I can't stand the guy. We were supposed to fight, and he took a bad boxing match in New York, and he got knocked out. And if you get knocked out as a professional fighter, you automatically get 90 days. So he wasn't able to fight me. I mean, it wasn't up to him. It wasn't up to me. It wasn't up to TWC. It's just, it is what it is, you know. But the thing is, I found out recently that he was actually cleared to fight. New York did not suspend him, but we found this out like last week. He's 20 pounds overweight, and he hasn't been training, so I decided not to take that fight. And stay with my original opponent, well, my second opponent, Adam Alvarez. So,
how much has training had to change with a new opponent?
The thing is, I kept my training pretty much the same. I mean, regardless, you always have to train for different people, different opponents, because you have different styles. But the thing is, Adam Alvarez, he's more of a stand-up guy, and Travis is more of a stand-up guy. So it didn't really hurt my training camp that much. You know, if it would have been a ground guy, like somebody like some good wrestler, some good jiu-jitsu guy, I might have had to change it up a bit. But my game plan is to stay pretty much the same in training.
Now, you mentioned the bad blood with Travis. When did this all start? You know, what's the story behind this?
Well, it started a couple years ago. Me and Travis actually used to be really good friends. I mean, we used to be really good friends, and the thing is, I remember one night, it was specifically the Kellogg Arena event. I was the main event, and he was one of the main events that night. And we were in the hotel room, and he was just like, I know we're friends. We even trained together at the time, but he was like, man, I was thinking about calling you out. I'm like, why would you call me out? I'm like, we're friends. And he was just like, oh, well, I just think it would be a good fight, and blah, 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 blah. And at that time, I was ranked number 1 in the state. He was ranked number 3 in the state. And as time went on, he started to get more jealous, and that started to act more crazy. And then he just kept on talking about he wanted to fight me all the time. And then it was the cherry on top. What actually really started the bad blood was this ring girl named Taylor. She's one of my ring girls. She was kind of sort of dating one of the fighters, and rumors went around that me and her were sleeping together, which we weren't. We just really good friends, you know. And Terry had problems with me, and Terry and Travis are really good. And it just, Travis jumped into business and started talking crap, and it just all hell broke loose, pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that fight, but it is what it is, I guess.
And it's probably still going to happen.
That's
still going to happen, just not now.
Yeah, that's good. Now, is it going to be taking place at 125 pounds or 135 pounds?
135. I don't want to fight at 25 right now. I have this fight. I'm trying to get on the card in the Palace, hopefully, next month. And then I am probably going to fight for TWC again. I'm probably going to fight Travis, most likely, in February or March, depending on if they when they are going to throw another pro show. Because, I mean, the Travis fight, it has to happen. You know, we don't like each other. The whole state has been waiting for it. Everybody wants to see it. The fans want to see it. It has to happen, you know? So, there you go.
Is it one of those things where we've seen in MMA, when two guys who don't like each other, they end up fighting, they squash the beef? Is that something that you possibly see happening?
You know what? At this point, I don't see it happening. I mean, I think we really don't like each other. I think if after the fight, I don't think it'll really solve anything. I think he hates me. I hate him. I don't like him. I don't respect him. He doesn't respect me. So I think if anything, depending on how the fight goes, I just want to smash him and be done with him. I don't ever want to hear his name again. I want to retire him. I just want him out of the sport. So I don't want to fight him twice. I want to prove a point. I want to just smash him in the first round and end it. And the thing is, if the fight goes 3 rounds, or it's some controversial decision, or something crazy happens, I probably will have to fight him again. I wouldn't care if I fought him 100 times, but truthfully, I would rather just fight him once and humiliate him, embarrass him, and be through with him.
I think it's refreshing to hear when two guys don't like each other, because a lot of times in MMA, two guys, I respect this guy, but we got to fight because, rankings or, it's a business, but I really like these bad blood matches.
Oh, yes. At this point, it's not really much to do with business. We just don't like each other. I just really want to beat them up. This is going to be a real weird fight for me because I used to train with GRMA. I used to train with them before Travis trained with them. That was like my school. That was my gym. Those were my coaches, and they are probably going to be coaching against me. So it's definitely going to be a weird fight for me. But I understand they have to do what they have to do. Travis is one of their students, so there you go. They know how I fight. They know my style because I used to train with them. But it's just a bad situation overall. But I just want to be through with this situation. I just want to squash him and that and go on with my life. I think after I beat him up, I think he's going to be done. Travis, and I say this openly, I think he's a weak-minded person. When he loses, he shells up and he just turtles up. When I lose, that motivates me. I appreciate every single loss I have, and he doesn't do that. Whenever he loses, he's like, oh, I want to quit, blah, blah, blah. He's supposedly retired already 3 times. I have never once said I was going to retire. Just because of a loss. A loss teaches you things and makes you stronger. It's supposed to. But I think he's a weak-minded person. So he might let that pressure get to him when we fight. And if I beat him, especially if I smash him, he'll be done. And that's exactly what I want to happen.
Changing gears and looking forward to the TWC fight on Saturday, is this fight going to be 3 5-minute rounds or 3 3-minute rounds?
It's going to be 3 5-minute rounds. That's how the pros work. 3-minute rounds are for amateurs. 5-minute rounds are for pros. So mean, I've been training 5-minute rounds now in my training camp, and everybody at the lab does 5-minute rounds. So I'm used to it. Sometimes we even train 7-minute rounds. So 5 minutes is nothing to me. My cardio is extremely good, and I'm prepared to go all 15 minutes if I have to.
Is it an easier transition going to the 5-minute rounds? Because basically all, the most recent of your amateur fights were, 5-round title fights, but they were 3-minute rounds, but they were still, the 15-minute fights. Does that make it easier?
Not necessarily. I mean, the thing is, all the fights I've had, I haven't been out of the first round in almost 3 years.
Right.
So, I mean, regardless if they 5 rounds or if they 4 or 3 rounds, I'm going in there and I'm going in there to finish that person. I'm a finisher. I'm not playing with these people. I don't want to fight them any longer than I have to, so I'm going there to smash at them and just be done with it. I want to beat them as fast as I can. I just try to set examples for people. So, yeah, hopefully, hey, I want an exciting fight either way. If he makes it out of the first or we go in the second or third, I'd be happy with that. I mean, I love experience too. But I feel like, why not take them out quick if you can,
You fought a long time in the amateur ranks, longer than most guys fight. Was that just because of what you said earlier, the title fights that you were in, or was there another reason why you fought so long as an amateur?
Well, it was that, and I didn't know if I was ready for 100% back. But the thing is, because once you go pro, you can't go back. Once you're a pro, you're a pro. So I just wanted to make sure I was ready. I wanted to fight tough fights. I wanted to do my thing and make sure I was ready, and I feel like I'm ready now. So, I mean, I feel like at this point, any amateur fight would have been pointless for me. So, I just decided to make that jump. So,
all those belts.
Hopefully I was right.
All those belts that you had during your amateur, did you have to give them back when you turned pro?
No, I kept all of them. So, yeah, I mean, I've defended them enough times, so I got a chance to keep all of them. Thank God I didn't lose any of them. I never lost a belt. So, but the thing is, as a pro, I'm so sick of defending belts and so sick of messing with belts. If I never fought for a belt again, it wouldn't bother me.
Really?
Not gonna lie. Oh yeah. I mean, unless I was fighting for like the UFC Bantamweight Championship of the world, or actually flyweight. Because if I fought in the UFC, I'd fight 125. I wouldn't fight 35.
Right.
But it's just a lot of stress. A lot of pressure.
Joel, I'm just curious, how did you get your nickname, Little Juggernaut?
How I got that nickname is, one time it was because I was training for nationals. I won nationals a couple times. I was training for nationals, and I had about 5 different sparring partners. And I was going through them pretty fast. I think the third person I was sparring, I kicked them in the head and almost knocked them out. And they went and they sat down. And they were just like, man, they was like, you like a little juggernaut. And everybody was like, oh, little juggernaut, that's a good nickname, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was the dumbest name at first. I'm like, that is so stupid. I didn't know what juggernaut meant. And then I went home, and I looked it up, and I was just like, okay, hey, that's not really that bad of a nickname. So it just kind of stayed with me, and there you go. You
never watched X-Men when you were a kid, growing up?
I did, but I mean, I thought he was a pretty sweet character, but I didn't know what the word meant. Though.
I see. Now you have your own MMA promotion, West Michigan Wars. How long have you guys been in business?
I've had West Michigan Wars about a little over a year now. My first event was in July. It was July 2nd of last year, and that's going strong. I actually finally just rented out arena. Finally, I got Kellogg Arena for October 6th, and that's been a lot of work. But I mean, it's fun. It can be stressful. Everybody thinks being an MMA promoter is easy, but it's not. I mean, I think it is 20 times harder being an MMA promoter than it is being a fighter. So it's definitely a lot of work.
Is this something that you're setting up for life after fighting? You're gonna go with this show? You want to transition to be from a fighter to a promoter?
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. The thing is, I genuinely like to help people, and if I can help develop fighters and help fighters grow and help get some of these fighters out of Michigan in the UFC, I would love to do it. And I think that's running my own business, running my own MMA promotion. That's the gateway to doing that. So yes, that's definitely something I want to do after I stop competing.
Are these mostly just all amateur cards?
Yes, unfortunately. Pro cars cost a lot of money to throw.
Right, especially in Michigan.
My pockets aren't that deep yet, but when they do get that deep, I will definitely throw a pro show.
And do you ever see yourself fighting on your own card?
No, you cannot do that. I would never do that because it's so hard. Whenever I even throw an event, I don't have time to do anything. Sometimes I set my phone down. I will have literally 20 missed calls and 50 missed text messages in like a 10-minute time period. So it's no way that I would try to do both, juggle both. You just wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to really concentrate on the show. And when I'm doing something, I want full concentration. If I'm fighting, I want to be focused on fighting. If I'm throwing a show, I want to be completely focused on throwing that show.
Joel, in Michigan, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for pro guys, and this card that TWC is putting on is a stacked card from top to bottom. How much does it mean to you to be making your pro debut on such a awesome fight card?
I mean, I feel like it's a privilege. TWC, they did their homework. They did a good job of putting the card together. I mean, I'm extremely excited. I'm really excited to be on their first card, and they're doing a pilot for a reality show. I'm excited to be on that, too. I mean, TWC, they're an extremely legit company, and I'm stoked to even be working for them, to be fighting for them. I mean, they definitely had their ducks in a row.
Now, you mentioned the reality show. What's kind of the format for this? Is it just like a documentary style show? What exactly is this show going to be?
It's I can't really talk about it too much, but it's definitely a reality show. They pretty much are following a few of us fighters around and seeing how we live and seeing how we train and seeing what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, I would definitely say it's a reality show. So far, I've only filmed one day and it got crazy. I mean, that's all I can really say, but it got crazy. And it's going to be, these next few days for me, it's going to really be crazy because not only do I have to worry about my fighting concentration, and then I'm going to have cameras all on my face for the next few days. I mean, I love it. It's fun, but it's just something different, something I'm not really used to.
Joel, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, a couple sponsors. Angel Gentleman Club, I love you. They do so much for me. 2 Orange Harley, the Game Store, Comstock, the Lab, of course, where I train, Team MASH, James Lee. I love you, James. Just want to give a shout out to my boy Darren Cruikshank. He just made it to the UFC. Right. And the fans, I just want to say thank you for following me. Thank you for being there for me. Without you, I wouldn't exist. And I appreciate every single one of you. I really do, from the bottom of my heart.
Joel, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck Saturday against Adam Alvarez.
Okay, thank you very much.